Jojo, be quiet. Jojo. Okay. What's up, Hunzy? It's time to hoont. Well, I have my coffee. Because a hoonter must hoont. Bloodborne is so good. Bloodborne is so good that they should not make a sequel, in my opinion. Because if they make a sequel, they might fuck it up. I mean, if they do it really well, I'd be okay with it. How did you enjoy the ICMI? It was awesome. It was the best ICMI yet, honestly. Best one yet. I'm in a chalice dungeon. I'm like, where am I? I haven't played this in a bit. Would you believe me if I told you that EFAP is still going? Yes. Don't worry, the next one's in Australia. Which you may or may not be interested in. I don't know. You know, another thing I love about Bloodborne is I got a custom character. I've never seen a custom character look this badass before. Look at my guy. The guy. He's a fucking sir. And I love that the clothes don't affect your stats that much. So you don't have to look like a gentleman like me, but I don't know why you wouldn't. Nobody got time for that. Oh, it was a trap. A fellow whipper. Yeah, I started the game with this the very first time I played, and it's like my favorite weapon. Because again, it's not like you know, I know that there's better weapons out there, in the game, and there are builds based on these other weapons. And this is my, I've already beaten the game. This is my second playthrough. I don't get to play it as often as I'd like because, you know, I mean, if I could have all the free time in the world, I guess I would play more. But at the same time, as long as what I'm doing is meaningful, I don't really care that I don't get to play anything else. I don't like these lazy motherfuckers, like, hanging around in here. Do something with yourself. Stop throwing that shit. Do 20 push-ups every time you die. Look at this guy. Anyway, so yeah, Icy Might was good. Next year it's going to be in Australia, in Upside Down Land. After that, word is it's going to be either in Canada or India. I think it's going to be in Canada, but we are going to be getting to India at some point. Also, I met a guy at ICMI who is Japanese. I think I told you guys this, and if I did, I apologize. And he wants to start a men's movement in Japan. I think that that is a great idea. There is, you know, feminism has a firm grip on the Japanese as well, and there are issues with fathers' rights and... Why Kanukistan? Because Allison's been banned from the U.S. for 5 years because she, something's in here. It's quiet in here. Classic WoW is coming out soon. I have been comparing it a lot to a Bloodborne Souls game, insofar as the excitement comes more from what? She was banned because she didn't have the right visas when she came across the border, and she was planning on selling stuff. And so, like, she tried to cross twice. The second time they banned her for 5 years. I mean, there are people who say this bullshit. I don't know. I'd have to see the details. It might be justified. I'm not happy that this happened to Allison, but that doesn't mean that I think it's unfair, because I don't know. I mean, I haven't had problems entering and leaving you know, the country, but I'm not trying to sell anything, so a men's rights group anywhere would be a great idea. Well, thank you. There's a treasure chest down there. I'll make my way. I've never, you know what, when I first played this game, I didn't do any of the Chalice Dungeon stuff. I probably should have. I mean, I did a little bit, but it got kind of repetitive because, like, they're kind of randomly generated areas, and They don't feel particularly like coherent to the story. But I guess it's also where some of the best loot is supposed to be at. Anyone in here? Well, whatever. Let's see what's in here. At the rate we're going, we'll see a civil war before the MRM gets it together. What do you mean a civil war? Whoa, what the fuck? Oh, it's just that guy. Well, who's breathing like that? Thanks for the madman's knowledge. One of the things about the Chalice Dungeon is it does, like, make for a lot of opportunities to farm. But I don't really want to do that. So I was going to play this other game that I got. It was free because I'm a PlayStation Plus member. It's called The Surge. And it's basically like Souls games, but it's like some dystopian science fiction future. For some reason, I'm not allowed to stream that game, which is why I decided to switch over to Bloodborne. These remind me of like the super weak enemies from Dark Souls 1. Let's see commies and patriots brawling in the streets for keeps. Well, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I still believe that all of this strife that's going on in the world with communists and nationalists and feminists and race activists and politics and all that stuff, it's all like a consequence of us not taking care of men. If we took care of our men, we'd have strong men. If we had strong men, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this shit. There wouldn't be as many men that would feel the need to go with communism. There wouldn't be because communism is kind of like simping, in my opinion, if that makes sense. To be a communist is to be a simp because you're doing it because you think you're doing what's best for people that are weaker than you are. Right? And of course you think of yourself as part of those people. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, is it time for a boss fight? Hey, Zerax. I fucking... Just want to make sure there's nothing else in here. Probably not, but... Anyway, so what I'm saying is that... What was that? Feeling rested up to the ICMI. I saw the pic Lauren tweeted. Yeah, I'm pretty good. We're still working, though. We're working on getting all of the footage so that people can start, ooh, might want to turn that on. Working on getting the footage together so we can start making the videos. Start putting the videos together. Anyway, I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying when it comes to simping? This is level 3. I heard Luga linked to Big Joel's latest shenanigans. Oh, you talking about his response to Stefan Molyneux over Elliot Rodger? I haven't watched it yet. I don't, like, a part of me doesn't want to because I'm afraid I'm just gonna get really fucking pissed. I mean, not because he criticizes Molyneux. I mean, I think that everybody's like, you know, no one is immune to criticism, but I already know that what criticism he has for Molyneux is gonna be, like, unjustified. It's gonna be based on bullshit. A lot of traps in here. They are. Shaman King says commies are simps. They are. I'm convinced that it's like it's kind of like the the domain of the lazy and the weak. What the fuck? Watch it, nigga. Communism, the simpening. It is to me. And there's a relationship, man. Like I was saying before. You know the saying, strong men create good times create weak men, weak men create bad times create strong men. What's sort of central to that, or I think interesting about that, is that men are at the center of that. And I don't want to, you know, necessarily say that only men can make change. I like to think of it as men in general. I don't know what that is, but it's sorry, lady, but you gotta go. And so, like, that makes perfect sense to me, right? If you have a society that values its men and their contribution, and those men are honored for what they do. Now, notice that I'm not saying that men they have like a responsibility or anything like that. But I do think that if you like the idea of true, you know, well, not true, but like the idea of equality, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because there's stuff that women won't do, and we need men to do that, for one. And also, there's stuff that only women can do, if that makes sense. So I don't think we can really have equality in terms of us being the same. Maybe the word I'm looking for is parity, but you get what I'm saying. As long as we're treated the same under the law, as long as there's fairness, I don't have a problem with that, right? I think that is the best thing to do. But if we have a society that honors and values men and masculinity, then we also have a society that doesn't fall prey to victimhood identity, either because you know, we have strong men that don't play the victim, and we have strong women that feel safe and can trust in their men to protect them. I'm a little lost. Men in general want to contribute in such a way. Society is fucking ungrateful to our men in general. Yes, exactly. Men want to be of service. They want to matter. What's up, homie? So if men are going to do that anyway, then we may as well make them as strong as we can, so that they don't fall prey to their own, I guess, they don't fall prey to becoming victims, but also so that they don't like necessarily fall prey to the whims of women who also like to be victims, because not all women like to be victims in that regard, right? So we want strong women too. Whatever, dude. Back off. But I think that women become stronger when they know their men are stronger, maybe? I don't know. I wonder about that. Like, my wife used to be a feminist. And a big SJW, right? And she played the victim. And this before I knew her, but since being with me, she seems to have gotten a lot of her own. She's found her own strength. Let's put it that way. And it's not to say that she, you know, I gave it to her, but it's sort of like it's inspiring. You know, it encouraged her. Let's put it that way. And she feels a lot better, a lot freer, in fact. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. I'm lost. What's in here? Oh, nothing. Wait. That almost sounds like what Jesse... God, man, woman, child, in that order. It's okay, everyone here has a phase where they're wrong. Wrong? What do you mean? Well, maybe if men and their positive tendencies can be celebrated, that sense of worth might actually make women feel like they have I ran out of characters. But yeah, I think I know what you mean. Somebody has to, like, inspire, I guess is what I'm getting at. The reason why I cut off is because the PlayStation 4 chat, it has a character limit. So, I mean, Lindsay being a feminist, if you are a feminist, you are wrong. Oh, okay. I get it now. Yeah, well, I mean, Allison used to be a feminist too, and you know, it's helpful for perspective because if you were like really in there, and you were a part of that, then you actually have more perspective than someone who, you know, someone who was just never a feminist, and they just don't like them. They may have really good arguments as to why, but they may not have like all the perspective because they never were one. So when you have a history with feminism, I think it actually makes your argument stronger. I hear shit over here. I don't know if that's something particularly about where I'm from. And pretty much most of us over here grew up feminist, essentially. Yeah. I mean, most of us did too. But, like, I guess there's a difference between just being gynocentric and being a feminist, if that makes sense. I was never a feminist. I am really lost. Maybe I'll lower the equality a bit. Yeah, tradcons are... There isn't much difference between feminism and traditionalism, except that feminism doesn't like men. That's the only difference. Alright, this is gonna get really noisy over here with these pigs. But I think this is the way I have to go. See what's over here. I mean, there might be an item in there where the fuck? I didn't see that slime monster. There might be an item where the pigs are. What does eldritch bacon taste like? Shit. I thought all bacon was eldritch bacon. Fucking pigs. Are there any more pigs? Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is that oh, hey, what's up? I think these guys are called snatchers. Keep it down. Society must atone for the sin of wokeness. Yeah, bacon drives people crazy. That's my point. Weakness, wokeness, what's the difference? I thought there was some guys on here that you do enough damage and they like go berserk. Let me get some sip of my coffee. Last time I played Bloodborne, I think one of those kicked my ass and threw my butt in jail. Yeah, there's one that you run into in the church. It's the first one you ever run into, and it does like a shit ton of damage. And if it kills you, you wake up in another area. It's almost like you're supposed to die. It's the only way you can get there. But when I played them, like on my first playthrough, I did that. But on my second playthrough, which is this one, I went over there looking for him, but he wasn't there. So I don't know. My insight is really high. Well, higher than it was the first time. Put it that way. So I don't know why he wasn't there, but I don't know what the conditions are. It's another pig. Yeah, don't feel too bad about getting deleted. It's almost like it's something that you're supposed to do. Yeah, so I guess one thing that there was a lot of press there for there was some press there. We got the BBC at the ICMI, that is. We had the BBC. We had Inverse. They actually did an interview with a guy. CBS was supposedly there. Well, that's weird. There was some French group. Inverse. No, I'm sorry, not Inverse. Inverse, not Inverse. It's Subverse. It's Tim Pool's thing. So I was wrong about that. One thing about Bloodborne is, like, I can barely see what the fuck is going on. Okay, I know where I am. How dare you be wrong, filthy casual. Casual. I'm gonna put my arm up your ass. Someone else? Is there somebody else? Yeah, I meant Subverse. Apologize for that. So, I'm waiting for the hit pieces. Oh, and a girl from TikTok Bloomberg. Do you guys know much about Bloomberg TikTok? Or TikTok Bloomberg? She was with us the entire time. She was super nice. You know, really sweet and complimentary, which made me very suspicious. She basically followed Karen the whole time. Hardcore colonoscopy simulator, yeah. So what's the relationship between Bloodborne and Demon Souls? There is no relationship, except it's kind of like, well, I mean, obviously they play similarly, but Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne don't have a relationship, really. Except, there are some, I guess it's like, think of it like this, like, in all the Final Fantasy games, in all the Final Fantasy spin-offs, the stories are not related at all, even though they're all called Final Fantasy, but there are similarities in that there are the same kinds of monsters, maybe some of the same classes, spells, you know, things like that. Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls have a few things like that. For example, I believe that all of them have the Moonlight Blade. So in Demon Souls, the Moonlight Blade was a weapon you could get in the game. In Dark Souls, it was also a weapon in all the Souls games, although I don't know about Dark Souls 2, because I only played that once. But I know in Dark Souls 3 it existed, and in Bloodborne, while you don't get a Moonlight Blade that I know of, I could be wrong, there is a boss that you fight that has the Moonlight Blade in the DLC. The Moonlight Greatsword, that's right, yeah. And then there's another thing that's sort of like across all of them is the character Patches. And Patches is an NPC in Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 3. I don't know if he's in Dark Souls 2. Again, I don't remember. And he's like this bald guy. It's always the same voice actor, and he betrays you in most instances. He's like this guy who betrays you by putting you in a dangerous situation so he can loot your corpse later on. And then when you get out of it and you find him, he's very apologetic. And he usually uses the same kinds of weapons. In Bloodborne, there is a Patches, and it's the same voice actor, except that he's a spider with a human head. So, is it the same guy? I don't think it's probably not the same exact guy, but I think it's definitely a nod to the larger Souls franchise that they put in Bloodborne. But I think in many ways, Bloodborne is certainly its own game. I mean, it doesn't play the same in terms of like the combat. Um, so, it's just not quite the same. I don't know how else to put it, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, wait. What's going on here? I'm gonna do my dailies in Final Fantasy 14. Oh shit. So you'll be spared my harassment for a bit. They are not part of the same universe. No, they're not. But they're nods. Well, I don't think the Final Fantasy games are a part of the same universe either, if that makes sense. They have the same stuff in them, but it's not like, Cloud never goes back and remembers the days of, Celeste and Locke. And, Lightning doesn't know, there's no, in Lightning's world of Final Fantasy 13, there are no references to the characters of Final Fantasy 12. They exist independent of each other in their own universes, but they share a lot of the same DNA in terms of the elements inside. It never made sense to me at the time, because I was like, well, game sequels should like carry on the story, but they don't. Like, they're just their own stories. I guess on the plus side, it's like I don't know if the Tales games are like that too, though. I don't want to speak for them. But I guess on the plus side, a person doesn't have to start at the beginning of the franchise to like enjoy the game. So there is that. I don't know if I found the lever I'm trying to find. I think Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 12 are the only difference. They happen in the same world. Yeah. There are definitely examples. I mean, Final Fantasy 10 and Final Fantasy 10-2, that's another example. Final Fantasy, you know what? I don't even understand 15. Don't listen to me. Dissidia Final Fantasy brings them all together. Some games have direct sequels, but the names will reflect that. Yeah, true. I am really lost. I'm trying to find the door to the boss because I've done all this work. Let me see. What do I need to do? I mean, this is the room with the pigs. I guess I could, just go down there. Is that gonna kill me? I think I'm just gonna take damage. I'm listening. No enemies here. Which game do you enjoy most? Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 3, or Bloodborne? I know you don't like Dark Souls 2. That's tough, man. Well, I think that when I play by myself, I enjoy Dark Souls 3 the most. When if I can play co-op with my friends, Demon's Souls. Unfortunately, Demon's Souls network has been down for a couple years. Like, they took it down, so that's kind of sad. I'm going in circles. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. And yes, the Tales games are self-contained. What do you mean, like, if one Tales game is not related to another one? Is that what you mean? Alright, let's try this. I have to stop and think about where the fuck I am. So we're gonna go this way. This leads out here, alright. I'm not dealing with that. Go in here. Follow this around. Now I'm in this room. We're gonna go down to the bottom. Tales of Vesperia and Tales of Berseria and Tales of Greece are all games that have their own stories. Okay. Alright. There must be another way that you can go in this sort of underground garden. So all right, this way. Right, I hear you. They're their own stories. Got it. This might help. Oh no, the lantern was on. Jesus Christ. It's tough because the light is reflecting, like I'm getting a little glare on my TV. So it's actually darker than, for me, than it should be. See, I hear critters. That tells me that there's areas I haven't been to yet. I haven't pulled any levers yet, have I? Let me just check. Nope. Okay. I don't remember having done that anyway. So, come back in here. The problem is that a lot of the rooms look the same. That's what I don't like. Well, there's something over here. I see that gate. But let's go this way first. I'm gonna get another coffee pretty soon here. Let me see if Alice is blowing my phone up. We're trying to solve some problems with the uploading. We can meet today. I should be ready at the usual time. Okay. Well, that's nice, but doesn't help. Just look at something. Sorry, guys, just a second. All right. Okay, moving on. So, like, Mine's IRL. Oh yeah. Whoa, what the fuck is that? Excuse me, mosquito lady. I don't believe we've met. Wait a minute. I've been here. So why was that thing in here? Well, whatever. The uploading of the Friday live stream, she means. We got that all figured out. No, I'm talking about, I'm talking about, bruh. We're talking about like the video, all the recording we did of the event. The live stream is one thing, but we also recorded it at what I would, guess is at a higher quality. And I have all the hard drives, and I have to upload them to our volunteers that are going to be doing the editing. Come on, guys. I got blood all over my clothes, all over my face. Alright, now I'm ready to kill the boss. And then I think I'm gonna quit, and get ready to meet with Allison and start working. So, let me see what's over here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I've been this way. It looks empty. And there's nothing down there, so... Oh shit. Don't fall. Okay. Yeah, I've been that way. Yeah, right. First finish off the boss, then meet up with the boss. Should be this way. Here we go. Okay. I wonder what it is. I'm guessing it's that giant... There's like a giant flaming dog shark monster. It might be that. We'll see. I was right. Watchdog of the old lords. Come on, come on. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Okay. Thank you. Where do I go now? This is where I came in? Yeah, it is. I think I might be done here. Yeah, I'm done. Mauler and Rags are still trying to read super chats, and Rags insists that he's still making sense and isn't becoming delirious. Alright, time to go back to the hunter's dream then. Wait, where's the doll? Oh, there you are. What the fuck are you doing?
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Very well, let me stand close.
I don't think I can upgrade anything. Nah, I can't. I didn't get much out of that that last thing.
Over time, countless hunters have visited this stream. The graves here stand in their memory. It all seems so long ago now. Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
I based the design of my guy on Peter Cushing. You know who Peter Cushing is? He played not Darth. He played Grand Moff Tarkin in the original Star Wars. I gave him a beard though, because I thought he would look more dashing with it, and I gave him some spectacles, because I thought he would look more badass. Yeah, that's it. I got a bunch of like crafting materials with it, but Firekeeper is still Bay. Which one? Are you talking about the one from Dark Souls 3? I assume? I will say this, as much as I don't like Dark Souls 2, and I don't hate Dark Souls 2, I think it's still a decent game, it's just not as good as the other ones. I like the Emerald Herald, which is the woman that levels you up in Dark Souls 2, but I will always have a soft spot for the Maiden in Black from Demon Souls. I'll always love her the most, so because she was the original. But the doll is alright, although her fingers are creepy. I think if you can like get up close, you can see that she is literally a doll. You can see her hands there. And you can't really see it in her face, but yeah, Her hands are pretty creepy. Let me see, maybe I can do it this way. Oh, I didn't move the camera, it just does that. There she is. It's you know what she looks like? You know the artist, I don't remember his name, but he was the designer for many of the Final Fantasy games as well as Vampire Hunter D. This is reminiscent of that artist's style. I can't remember the name of the person though. Rosalheim Art. Oh, I think you're further than my stream playthrough. Oh, I mean, I already finished Bloodborne once. I was just playing it on my... This is my New Game Plus, which I'm playing for fun. So... But... Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, because I gotta get ready to meet with Allison. And, get all these other things set up. Plus, I'm gonna try to do a show. I'm actually gonna try and do a show today. We're gonna like look back on the ICMI, you know, talk about, you know, how we feel about how well it went, and also the, you know, if this is gonna be like the new standard going forward. I hope it is. Because I think this ICMI went really well, minus a few hiccups. But I think that considering everything, I think that is, yeah. Still have that Twilight PFP. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, minus a few hiccups, I think it went really well. So. Need to continue my Bloodborne Let's Play, but I've been doing Vampire the Masquerade first and Silent Hill. You know what I have that I haven't played at all? I haven't even touched it because I haven't made time for it, but I was thinking about maybe doing a stream of it. I have PT, which was a demo for a new Silent Hill game that never happened. And it's on my PlayStation. I downloaded it before they removed it from the store, and I think it actually makes my PlayStation 4 pretty valuable. But I haven't even played it, and it's just sitting there. And I was thinking about maybe playing it sometime, and streaming it if I can. There was a recreation though. Yeah, I don't know. I know that for a while they if you know, they removed it from the store because the project ended up not becoming a reality. So like this game may never happen, which is a shame because I heard its PT is pretty fucking freaky, if not one of the freakiest games yet. And that's saying a lot because I know there have been a lot of pretty creepy games. I actually have a couple of other survival horror games that I never played that I downloaded, like Outlast. I have that still, and I never played it. It was just one of those free games that I got. I have a few free games I haven't played. I have Prey. I don't know if Prey is any good. I have Bulletstorm, I think it's called. I have well, I did start playing The Surge, which is like Dark Souls in a cyberpunk-ish future, but I don't know. I'm playing it, but I'm not loving it. I'm having a hard time getting into the setting because some of it doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make sense in a lot of ways. I think what they were trying to do, I'm not sure they pulled it off, but I was playing it anyway. I don't know what else there is. I don't know. Prey was good. Okay. You should play more Detroit Become Wokeness. I do have I'm planning on playing more Detroit Become Woke. Maybe well, I don't know if Lindsay wants to be around for it or not, so but I could because she's not here. I could maybe do more of that. I got to get some shit done and then I'll do that, but I want to play some Last of Us soon. I played it. I'm actually in the middle of playing it again, but I haven't played in a long time. Yeah, Last of Us was good. Um, I should finish The Last of Us before The Last of Us 2 comes out. I have a feeling The Last of Us is going to become free when the sequel comes out. I have a feeling because they made all the Borderlands games free for PlayStation owners, like all the existing ones. So I have, well, no, it's just the Handsome Collection, which I don't think includes the first Borderlands. I think it's just Borderlands 2 with all the DLC and Borderlands the pre-sequel with whatever DLC that had. And I finished the pre-sequel, which was okay. I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm like the Borderlands games haven't aged well, or if because the pre-sequel wasn't as good as the other one. But yeah, but Borderlands the pre-sequel was just okay. The new game will be so woke, I fear. Well, I mean, The Last of Us was a little bit woke already. And the DLC for The Last of Us got pretty fucking woke. That's the thing that I don't get. People were so like freaking out about the lesbian kiss in the trailer. They revealed Ellie was a lesbian, although I think it's really fucking weird and creepy to reveal a 12-year-old girl as a lesbian. Or was she 14? I'm not sure. But whatever. They revealed that in the DLC for The Last of Us. No, I think she was 12 at the time that she like kissed the black girl. And I thought that was, like, really? I mean, here's the thing. The way that they handled Bill, who was gay, in The Last of Us, which they did do as well, they did a really good job with that. I thought that was very tastefully done because Bill was, if he didn't tell you he was gay, there would be no way to know that. He didn't act gay. He didn't, nothing. I mean, like, it just turned out that he was a gay guy. It just turned out that way. But he was still, a badass character. And it was a good story. But with Ellie, they didn't handle it as well. It felt more forced and unnecessary. Again, I don't care if they want to make the character gay, but it's just the way that they handled it. It's weird to have that reveal. Have you missed the TED Talks that I never watched? I don't know what you're talking about. Have you missed the TED Talks that I never watched? But I think in The Last of Us sequel, clearly there is a romance angle in it. But I don't think I think it's going to be probably a little bit more woke. I think that it's sort of a gradual increase in wokeness, but on the part of Naughty Dog. And my I guess my measuring stick for that can't be The Last of Us, since there was only one Last of Us game, and then there was the DLC, which stepped up the wokeness a little bit. But I'm looking at the Uncharted games, which they also made, and so the Uncharted games got progressively woke. Well, there was just kind of a leap forward. So, like, the first Uncharted game was just straightforward, nothing really going on, a fun game. The success of it, though, led to, well, we want to make a better story, and I think that's the thing. I think that is ultimately one of the big problems, is that video game developers want to make a better story. And when you ask an artist what elements would make for a better story, they usually start leaning towards left-wing social issues that they want to like bring forward. And a video game developer is not as good a storyteller as a storyteller is. And the fact is that most storytellers aren't really great storytellers, aren't as good as the greatest storytellers. So you're looking at people who are mediocre at telling stories, but they feel like artists and they want to tell good stories, and so they tell them in a clumsy way. And they start, putting their ham-fisted politics in there, because if you ask them about their politics, they don't think that this is politics. They think that this is just being a good person, being empathetic, being, liberal. It's not a political thing. It's just common sense to them. But the thing is they handle it so poorly by cramming this stuff in there that it starts to make people cringe, because what was once the goal of people who belong to, quote, marginalized groups, unquote, would have been to simply be left alone to, try to pursue their own happiness and their own walk of life without people getting in their way, all right? But that's not what the left wants. They don't want people to simply be left alone. They want people they want others to go out of their way to celebrate them, to give them stuff, to treat them like children, while at the same time flagellating themselves, apologizing for their privilege, etc. That's completely different from simply saying, yes, I don't want to hurt you because you're gay. I don't want to get in your way. I want you to just have a life like I have a life, which would have been the liberal position. It is the liberal position. It is. But that's not good enough. You have to go out of your way and say gays are better than straight people. Straight people should apologize for their privilege. Yada, 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 right? And normal folks, they don't respond well to that. So, this is the overreach. Now, when I look at the Uncharted games, and so going back to what I was saying, when you start, you have game developers and they want to focus on story, they are going to put their politics in it most of the time, because they think that their politics of race or of gender or sexuality or whatever is a substitute for good storytelling. They can just put that in there. It's like when I was going to art school, and the people who were really talented, they wanted to make art that looked beautiful. I mean, I look at Bloodborne. It's a beautiful game, right? There's no politics in this game. There's no politics. But it's a beautiful looking game. So the people who are talented make a beautiful game, or they make beautiful art in my art school. They didn't need to make a statement on top of that. The people who didn't have as much talent felt like they could compensate for their lack of talent by making a statement. So they would say, well, this may just be eggs filled with paint coming out of my vagina, but I'm saying something about the historical oppression of women, therefore that compensates for the fact that there's this guy that made a beautiful portrait of his mother with oil paints that's, just gorgeous, right? But it's not saying anything except he loves his mother. Whatever. I wonder how many homosexual slave owners were there in the U.S. back in the day. Well, it's a good question. So the Uncharted games, the second one was still not woke. It was still like an action movie. It was still fun. Uncharted 3 got more woke. They had a female villain. I don't mind that. I think female villains can be good, but I think that she was a little bit sympathetic. I can't remember, because she had an underling. But the fourth one was pretty woke. The fourth one was pretty woke because the fourth Uncharted. Maybe I'll do a Let's Play of it, because I haven't played it in a while. But you should definitely see it. That it was the only Uncharted game where there was a boss character that you ran into multiple times that you are not allowed to win against. You're not allowed to beat. And the reason, I'm pretty sure, they basically explain it by saying that this character is better than you are, just better than you, but she's a black woman. And she's a black woman martial artist. And even though Nathan Drake has taken on all kinds of, badasses in his career of adventuring, kind of like Indiana Jones, this black woman is just unbeatable. And you have to fight her a couple of times, but literally all you're doing it's just like, it's basically like a cutscene that you're involved in that you can't alter the outcome of. You can't beat her. And then they made another Uncharted game, which I never bought, never downloaded it, whatever, never bought it, which I can't remember the title of, where you play as two women, and they're two women treasure hunters or whatever, and one of them is that same invincible black woman from Uncharted 4. And so, if I had to look at the trajectory of the Uncharted games and then say, well, will The Last of Us get woke? I would argue, one, it was already a bit woke, and two, yes, it's going to get more woke probably, but hopefully it won't be at the cost of the gameplay, because Uncharted 4 was a really good game. I just hated the way they handled this female black character, who, by the way, was originally a villain, but then it turned out, like, later on towards the end, she was just misunderstood or whatever, but she wasn't, so she couldn't even own her own evil. They couldn't write her that way. So black queens know all your button inputs. It's their culture. Anyway, yeah, so at the end of Uncharted 4, if you haven't played it, but Uncharted 4 is a good game. I would get it if you're into those kinds of things. But the way they handled that black woman was terrible. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys, for coming on this stream of Bloodborne. I will be resuming my other streams, my art streams, soon. I just got to finish some work, which involves using my computer at its maximum potential. Look for my art streams coming back on Monday, where I will resume work on Englewood. I have a lot of ground to make up since I missed some time doing the ICMI stuff. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys, for coming on, and I'll talk to you later.